Not every toxic relationship is full of screaming and fighting. Thomas. It looks completely normal from the outside. You laugh together. You spend time together. You say, "I love you." But something inside you doesn't feel right. And sometimes, the most dangerous relationships are the ones you slowly get used to. Here are 6 hidden signs of a toxic relationship that people rarely talk about. 1. You feel relief when they leave. Think about how you feel when your partner walks out the door. Do you miss them? Or do you finally feel like you can breathe? Maybe you become more relaxed. You stop monitoring what you say. You can finally be yourself. That feeling of relief can be important. Because when someone's presence constantly creates tension, your body may begin associating their presence with stress. And eventually, being alone starts feeling safer than being together. 2. You're constantly editing yourself. You don't necessarily fear them. Just carefully choose your words. You avoid certain topics. You stop making jokes they might dislike. You think twice before expressing an opinion. And slowly, you stop being completely yourself. You become a version of yourself designed to avoid conflict. That's not emotional peace. That's emotional survival. 3. Their affection feels like a reward. In a healthy relationship, affection isn't something you have to earn. But in a toxic dynamic, love can become conditional. When you behave the way they want, they're warm. When you disagree, they become distant. When you give them attention, they're affectionate. When you set a boundary, they withdraw. Eventually, you start working for their affection. You become obsessed with getting the good version of them back. And that's when love can start feeling more like a reward system than a relationship. For you apologize just to keep the peace. Thomas, you know you didn't do anything wrong. But you apologize anyway. Not because you feel guilty. Because you want the tension to stop. You say, "I'm sorry," just so they will talk to you again. Just so the argument will end. Just so the atmosphere becomes normal. Over time, you may start believing that keeping the relationship peaceful is always your responsibility. And that's dangerous. Because peace that requires you to constantly silence yourself isn't real peace. 5. You're more afraid of losing them than happy to have them. This one is difficult to admit. Ask yourself, if I knew this person would never change, would I still choose this relationship? Sometimes, people stay because they're terrified of losing someone. Not because the relationship is making them happy. They remember the good moments, the beginning, the affection, the promises, and they keep waiting for that version of the relationship to return. You may not be holding on to the person anymore. You may be holding on to the memory of who they used to be. 6. You've started confusing anxiety with love. Your phone vibrates, and your heart races. They haven't replied, and you start overthinking. They're suddenly distant, and you become desperate for reassurance. When they finally give you attention, you feel an enormous sense of relief. That emotional roller coaster can feel intense. Sometimes, people mistake that intensity for love. But love isn't supposed to keep your nervous system constantly on alert. Real intimacy can be exciting, but it should also feel safe. The uncomfortable truth. A toxic relationship doesn't always destroy you overnight. Thomas, it changes you slowly. You become quieter, more anxious, more insecure, more afraid of making mistakes. And one day, you realize you've spent so much energy trying to keep the relationship alive that you've stopped asking whether the relationship is actually good for you. So don't only ask, "Do they love me?" Ask something deeper. Who am I becoming because of this relationship? Because the right relationship won't require you to constantly abandon yourself to keep someone else happy. And if you have to become smaller, quieter, and less yourself, just to keep someone in your life, maybe the relationship isn't giving you love. Maybe it's taking pieces of you in exchange for it. Sometimes the biggest red flag isn't what someone does to you. It's who you slowly become around them. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Dr. Wayne Psychology for more relationship psychology and uncomfortable truths about human behavior.